Hello and welcome to Mark and Kelly's Trips, Tips and Things. So today I'm going to be cooking from this, the official Supernatural Cookbook. That's right, we're going to be helping those demon slayers Sam and Dean cook up a nice little treat. And what better than heavenly pancakes? But before we do, please like, share and subscribe this video. It helps us make more and we always look forward to making more recipes with you guys. Anyway, let's get cooking. Okay, and that's what we're hoping our heavenly pancakes are going to look like. But anyway, let's have a look at what we need. So, these are the ingredients. So we're going to need 2 cups of all-purpose flour. So I'm just using regular plain flour. We're going to need 1/4 cup of baking powder. Now, I have never used that amount of baking powder in a pancake recipe before, so I'm really looking forward to seeing how that turns out. We're going to need 2 teaspoons of baking soda, and I'm using bicarbonate of soda, so 2 teaspoons of bicarbonate of soda. We are going to need 1/4 cup of sugar, and I'm just using regular granulated sugar. We need a little bit of salt. So I got there, just regular salt. We're going to need 2 cups of milk. And I'm going to use the full fat milk just so we can give it some nice flavour. We are going to need 2 eggs, which I've got there. We're going to beat those. And we're going to need 1/4 cup of butter. And this is going to be melted butter. So I'm using unsalted butter, but I'm going to melt that to go into the recipe. We're going to need good old 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, which I've got there. And last but not least, the pièce de résistance. This is going to go on the top. This is our maple syrup. So you need plenty of that just to spread all over those delicious pancakes. And there we go. That's it. That's our ingredients. Let's get cooking. Okay, for the first part of this recipe, we are going to need actually 2 bowls. I've got one here and one here. So the idea is we're going to put our dry ingredients in one and our wet ingredients in the other. So let's start with the dry ingredients. So into the bowl we add our flour, baking powder, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, salt, and the sugar. Right, let's give that a little whisk. There we go. Doesn't need too much mixing. That's our dry ingredients all mixed. Now we're going to go on to our wet ingredients. There, so as I said before, we're going to have a separate bowl for our wet ingredients. So to this we're going to start to add the milk, the eggs, the melted butter, and do add this in, it really does make a difference. There we go. And last but not least, the vanilla extract. I'm going to do a chef's measurements here. That's about 2 teaspoons. A little bit more because I like it. There we go. Right then, let's start to mix that in. Okay, there we have it. That's all mixed in there. So you've got the butter, the eggs, you've got the milk, you've got that vanilla, you've got the salt. So that's all incorporated in there. Now, what the recipe says to do is we start to now add in our dry ingredients. So remember, we mix these into 2 separate bowls and gradually add. So just bit at a time. So I'm just going to go on. It's going to go, it's going to go. There we are. I'll do a little bit, then mix. Okay, now I'm doing it the old-fashioned way with a whisk here, but if you've got a blender, it'll just be quicker. Or not blender, a mixer, it'll be a lot quicker. But anyway, just gradually do that. Little bit, then mix. Okay, let's speed this up a little. there we have it. We've got this lovely thick unctuous batter there. Now the next thing you want, make sure all that flour is all incorporated in the wet ingredients. So the next thing we're going to need to do now, the recipe says leave this for 10 minutes. Let that baking powder do its thing. Just let it sit for 10 minutes and then we're going to come back to it. And then we're on the next stage, is my favourite bit, is the cooking. See you in 10. Okay, so it's been 10 minutes. I've let that sit there and it has made a difference. I don't know if you can see that, but there are air bubbles in that batter and it has risen. I've also noticed the batter is a lot thicker. So as I move this whisk, I can just feel that it's a lot thicker. So I'm hoping that's going to make for really nice fluffy pancakes. Right, there we have it. We've let that batter sit. Really important that you let that sit for at least 10 minutes. Our next thing now, we're going to heat our little skillet and then we're going to get cooking. Okay, so I'm next ready for my frying. I've dropped a little bit of butter in here already just to get this going while I've got the heat on. Get the right one on. And I've got that on a medium to low heat, so just to start the butter melting. Now the recipe does say, first of all, use a skillet. So I've got a skillet here, but if you haven't got a skillet, you can use a heavy base frying pan. Anything basic you can fry the actual pancakes in. And I'm just, as you can see, swirling the butter around. Now the recipe also says to use cooking spray to spray this, but I'm going old school and I love my butter. So I'm going to put the butter on the base of the pan, and that's just to give it that little bit of oomph. Get your little plate ready. So I've got that there so the pancakes can go on. The recipe also says, which I've not done before, is get some foil. So the idea is you put the foil over the pancakes as you're cooking them, or obviously the cooked ones, just to keep that heat in. So I'm going to do that as well. Got my little flipper, and also just to the side I've got my batter mix, which I've got to hand here, as you can just see there. And it does say to label them in using tablespoons. So I've got a little cup, which I'm going to use. And that batter's really thick, so here we go. I'm just going to add in the first one. And it says put them in spoon by spoon. So I might put a bit more in there for that one. I think it's a nice big one here. Alright. The first one's never the greatest, but let's get that there. Now you're going to leave that for about 3 minutes. Let that cook on both sides. Then we're going to flip it, okay? Let it go. Let it cook. Okay, so I'm going to have to grab this with an oven glove because this gets really hot if you've got a skillet. As you can see, the shape hasn't been so great with this one, but it's starting to brown underneath, as you can see. So I'm going to start to flip this now and hope I can get this in one go. Here we are. Right. Trying to retain its shape. Let's get it cooked. Okay, there we have it. That's been 3 minutes. Let me just flip it over. You can see they're brown on both sides. It's not risen as much as I thought it would, so I'm going to try a few more, experiment with some oils. We're going to see which is the best one. Right, let's get on to the next one. Butter. In goes that batter. A little bit more. Okay, and like I say, just let that sit. Don't touch it. 3 minutes. Then we're going to flip it. Okay, for this one, using my Darth Vader flipper, I've actually just left it. I've not touched it. Let that cook for 3 minutes, and it's retained its shape a lot better. So the learning curve for me here is just put them in and leave them. Right, 3 minutes. We're going to give it a flip. Look at that. That's much better. Okay, let's let that cook. Okay guys, here we go. This is our time to do the grand reveal. And as I said, make sure we put the foil on just to keep them warm. There they are. Look at that. That's a stack of pancakes. Let me just turn them on its side. Excuse fingers, as you can see. Look how thick they are. The thick ones, you can see I had some at the bottom. but they are lovely. Look at those. I'm really pleased with those. And as you can say, it won't be any type of pancake without the maple syrup. Look at that. There we are. Heavenly pancakes from the Supernatural Cookbook. I'm really looking forward to this. Let's give them a taste. Okay, let's give these bad boys a try. So this top one, cooked in butter. This one, cooked in oil. So we're going to try this top one here. Let's give this a little try. Look at that. Gonna give it a try. Okay, here we go. This is from the pancake. That is amazing. Those are so light and so fluffy. I've got to say, I was really interested actually to see how that baking powder would be in there. You can't taste it at all. And actually, these are probably the lightest pancakes I've ever made. They are so delicious. I can't get over that. They're so nice. I tell you what, let me try. I'm going to try the bit with the oil on. So this is the one with the oil. Here we go. Again, really good. Obviously with the butter, it goes without saying it tastes delicious, but even with the oil, that's amazing. Yeah, of all the pancakes that I've made, and I've made quite a few, if you'll see on our videos, that for me is the best one. I'm going to go on a limb and I'm going to say it, that's the best one. Really light, really fluffy. I would definitely recommend when you're making these though, do cook them for 3 minutes on a nice medium low heat. That nice low heat really cooks them through and makes them really soft. That's one thing I definitely learned, and leave them to cook. The first one I made, as you saw, I was playing around with it a little bit, so just put it on there, let them cook. That is delicious. There you have it. You've got to have it. Heavenly pancakes from the Supernatural Cookbook. Definitely recommend this recipe. It's well worth making. I hope you liked that video. I certainly enjoyed making it. That's it for Mark and Kelly's Trips, Tips and Things for this particular video. Please like, share and subscribe. We always like making videos for you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Alright, take care, look after yourselves, and remember, you're never too old to have fun. Bye.